everybody should have downloaded it.
Computer died.
Alright, so when we first start it, I'm going to put a title in. So this one's going to be, I'm going to make the title just an example. Entering notes. And you can put the composer in. I'm going to just put me, Wagner. And we're going to choose A4 because A4 is the best one for us in Australia. Next. Now this one that we're doing, the Polonaise in F, is for keyboards. So it's for piano. We choose piano, add that, and then click on next. And then it asks us for our time signature and key signature, etc. Okay. So the key signature, what's the key signature that we should be putting in for Polonaise? Is it? That's what you're doing, the one in front of you? Is it 4/4?
3/4.
3/4. Okay, and what key is it in? Can anybody tell me what key? It's an F, very good. It is an F. So we move this here. See here, you can click down here and it'll move it into different keys. Okay, change the key. You change the key until you get what you want. Alright, if you go up, it'll go into sharp keys. If you go down, it'll go into flat keys. So the first down flat key is F major. And we can also do the predetermine how many measures we want. The measures is the same as bars. Okay, so if you're talking about bars, so let's count the bars. Polonaise 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So you'd want to put in 16 bars for Polonaise.
17.
Is it 17?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16.
Yeah. So let's just pretend
No, it wasn't.
we need to do 16. Then we click on finish and it will bring up our piece for us. Okay, there it is. I'm just going to move it here and I'm just going to make it as big as I can. Oh, and let's just change the view. There we go. Alright, so what we have here, I just need to move this. We've got several toolbars, okay, and they're called palettes in Finale. They call them palettes. So this one's our main tool palette. Okay, you can see it says main there. And we've also got a simple tool palette. This is this one. And we've also got the smart tool palette, that one there. Now we can view other ones if we go window and the simple entry rest palette. We also need the rest palette, okay, so we can put rests in. And it gives us all the different things that we can actually put into the score. So I'm just clicking and dragging those around. You can put them wherever you want. Now you can either enter it in looking at it like a page like this. This is the page view, or you can actually change the view so it looks like a scroll. I just need to move that out of the way for a moment. That's in my way. Keeps getting in my way. The view, and you can... no, you can't. It's not going to let us do that in this. But there is a scroll view in the actual other version of this. The full version has a scroll view, so we can only access this page view. So let's say we want to put a note in. Okay, we just select the type of note we want over here, and we just go over to the staff and we click it in. Okay, really easy. There you go. Now, if you don't fill out a whole bar, it will automatically put in the rests for you. So you can see the rests are being put in there. You can click straight over a rest and put a note straight over a rest if you want. Okay. Now you can also put in chords. So to put in a chord, you just put the extra note in. You just go to where you want to put it in and you put the other note in and it'll just do the chord for you like that. Okay. Now we can change the type of note as well. So if they're not the right note, you can change it to something like this. This is a semiquaver. Okay, so if I want to, I can change those to semiquavers. And just enter them like that. Because you get 4 semiquavers per beat. If I wanted to put a quaver in at the end there, I could. And as soon as you put it in, it automatically joins up their tails for you. Okay, so you don't need to do that. If you need to change a note to a sharp or a flat, you just click on sharp or flat over here and you make sure you get the right type of note selected and it will flatten it. Now, you might actually be able to change that with the plus and minus button as well. Yeah. Okay, so I'm just using the plus and minus buttons on the keyboard. And that's changing it to, if I press minus, it changes it to a flat. If I press plus, it changes it to a sharp. Okay. So let's have a look at what we need to put into Polonaise, the types of things we need to put in. All right, so far I've done those type of notes that you use in Polonaise, and there's a few extra things that you use in Polonaise as well. There's a thing called a trill. Can you see the trill? The trill is that little squiggly line above the first note in the treble clef. That's a trill, okay? So a trill, if you hear a trill on a piano, it sounds something like this. That's a trill. It's going very quickly between one or two notes. So to put a trill in, we need to do one of these things here, which is on the main entry palette, this one here. So if we look at this here, this is the articulation button. This little one here, articulation tool. Click on that, and it should now, if we click on this note, I have to double click it, it'll bring up the different types of articulations that we can put on it. So you can see there's a trill just there. I select that and then click on select, and it puts the trill sign in. Okay? We'll also play it back. Now the other thing we need to do is we need to put in a grace note. So if you have a look at Polonaise in F in the first bar, just on the second beat of the first bar, there's a thing called the grace note, which is a tiny little note. Okay? So that tiny little note is, again, a very quick note going from one note to another. So, okay, if you hear that, that's a grace note, very, very quickly moving from one note to another. So to put a grace note in, let's see if we can do that again. Let's see where it is. I'm sure it's in here. Oh, let's have a look. Pardon? Let's see if the articulation entry does that for us as well. Does it give a grace note? No, it doesn't give us a grace note. What's this one? Simple entry, tie, set tuplet. I'm not sure if we can do a grace note. Can we do a grace note? No. Smart shapes, score manager. Let's see if this. No. Okay, it looks like we may not be able to actually do a grace note. I'll have a look at that, and if I come across an example of how to do a grace note, I will give you some extra instruction on that, okay? Is there a question? No?
I have a question.
All right, yes?
Do we have to do this on another Notepad?
Yes.
Then I'll skip it. Do we have to... Are we copying this onto another Notepad?
Yes, that's your assignment. Yep.
When's it due?
You'll have to look at the due date on Edmodo.
First, yeah, I don't have a computer at the moment. That's the tactics.
I'll tell you after. Yeah, I'll look it up for you. All right, the other thing we need to be able to do is slurs. So a slur, you can see a slur on Polonaise in F on bar 5, and you can see there's 3 notes there that are slurred, and a slur is that curved line. So to put a slur in, it's pretty easy. You can see it on the Smart Shapes palette just there, and it's this one here, okay? So we click on that to activate it, and then if I double click it, it actually puts a slur in. So you can see it's actually just put it in just over the top of 2 notes there, and we can actually move it. If I click on the edge of it, you can move it to whatever note you want it to go to. So there, now the slur's going over 4 notes. Okay, now the other thing we need to do is putting in repeats. So let's see how to put a repeat in. There's a repeat at bar 8 in Polonaise. I'm just going to put a repeat in now. So you click on the main entry tool palette right here. You click on the repeat, double click the bar, and then it gives you the type of repeat you want to put in. So we want to put in a backwards repeat or a right hand repeat. Select that and it puts the repeat in for us. Okay, so you can put it in anywhere. The other, one more thing that we have, I think. Yes, very last thing is putting in another articulation, which is the fermata or the pause. Okay, and that's just here. Again with the articulation tool, double click on, or single click on that, and then double click on the note that you want to put that into, and you'll see here that we've got the pause symbol just here. Okay, and we just select that and pop that in, and there you go, it pops it in for us. Now, since it's on both clefs, you'd need to do it for both clefs. So you double click the note on the other clef, select it again, and then select, and in it goes. Now you can move these around. See how there's a little purple box there? You can actually click and drag them around, and then it will flip it up the other way.
What is that?
It's called it's a fermata, but it's also called, it's pause. Basically, it's a pause. So right at the end of the piece of music, you can see it's pause. So you actually hold the note a bit longer than what you would normally hold it. Now in Polonaise in F, it doesn't have these, but you can put in things like crescendos and decrescendos. So I'll just quickly go over that. In the Smart Tools palette, you can see there's a decrescendo tool, and there's also a crescendo tool. So I'm going to put a crescendo in. So you just click on that, and the way you put it in is you put your cursor where you want it, you double click it, and then you drag it. And that didn't work, so let's try it again. You click and drag, and then you can see it's putting in the hairpin of the crescendo for us there. Okay? That's a crescendo. That's gradually getting louder.
But we don't
Okay?
have to put that in.
You don't have to put that in Polonaise in F. I was just showing you that as one little extra.
Yeah, I didn't do that when I tried.
Yeah, you just double click it. Didn't do it the first time. So if I put another one in, okay, and you can move them about by using the middle of it. You can move it about. Any questions on that? Yes?
One on top of each other.
Yep. Okay, so that's just a chord. So let's have a look at the very first note here that I've put in the bass, and I'll put a chord in by selecting that note and just putting it, you just click over the top of it there, and then that puts it in. Okay? If you make a mistake in finale, you can Control Z it or Command Z, which is undo, or you can go up to Edit, Undo, or you can click on this little button up here, which is like an eraser, and you can actually erase a note. So if I click on that one, we can erase that note there. Okay, it erased the whole thing. So if I Command Z that now, undo it, it'll put it back in. Okay, so I'm going to stop it there, stop the recording there, and you guys can have, I'll put it online for you and you can follow it online as well.